Hey, I'm the Kinky Polyatheist, and today I'm answering the question, why don't you believe in God? Welcome to the show. Around here we dispel shame around sex, sexuality, relationships, and spirituality. And today I've got the question, why don't I believe in God? And thank you. I'm wondering why it took so long to get this question. I mean, my name is Kinky Polyatheist. I assume that because you're asking, you have a genuine curiosity as to why. So I'm going to go ahead and take that approach and tell you why I don't believe in God. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Also, you can send me questions at ask@kinkypolyatheist.com. So why don't I believe in God? Well, let's just be clear here. Are you talking about God or are you talking about your God? Think about it. You believe in your God, but everybody else's God is somehow wrong. But if you ask someone else, they're going to say their God is right and everyone else's is wrong. But it never really crosses your mind that your God could be wrong. The majority of the world doesn't believe in your God. And for example, when you have like the Zeus missionaries knocking on your door telling you about the powers of Zeus and Zeus can save you from the fires of Hades, you just kind of shrug. Nah, I'm good. Isn't that interesting? Everyone else is God. You're like, I'm good. But your God should be feared because clearly they run the universe and they are really concerned with what you do with your clothes off. If you think about it, of all the millions of gods out there, you don't believe in any of them except for one. And me, of all the millions of gods out there, I don't believe in any of them. I just believe in one less God than you. So I know that almost always leads to the question, what would it take for me to believe in your God? And my question for you is, what would it take you to believe in someone else's God? It's kind of the same thing. We already said that you basically just discount everybody else's beliefs except your own. What would it take for someone else to come and knock on your door and basically get you to understand that their God is the one and only, and you've been believing in the wrong thing, and you should convert today? For example, what if I told you about the invisible unicorn best friend, praise be unto him, that if you believe in him, will grant you access to heaven? What would it take for you to believe me? What would it take for you to believe in the invisible unicorn, praise be the horny? Would you demand evidence of my claims? But you don't have to, right? I mean, clearly the invisible unicorn, praise be unto him, is in all things around us. Everywhere you look, this was all made by the invisible unicorn. Praise his big horn. But don't worry, I can also show you the holiest of all books on the planet, the Invisible Unicorn Bible, King James Edition. Clearly, it is all the evidence you'll ever need. And honestly, I'm sharing all this with you because I'm just trying to help you. If you don't believe in the invisible unicorn, praise be the big horn, you're going to go to heck. And heck is bad. It's full of bad stuff, like eternal suffering and traffic and bad hair days forever. So I'd be willing to bet that you don't believe in the invisible unicorn, praise be his ultimate horniness, because there's not any evidence. And you probably wouldn't be wrong. It sounds kind of ridiculous. But that's basically it. That's my answer. Why don't I believe in God? Because there's no evidence of God. There are a lot of other things that claim to be evidence of God, but they're not. Same way there's no evidence of the invisible unicorn, praise be the horn, there's no evidence of God. As a rational adult living in the real world, you should demand evidence of all extraordinary claims. And extraordinary claims require, demand extraordinary evidence. There's no evidence of God. And furthermore, there's no evidence of heaven or hell either. And I know there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, but the Bible is evidence. No, the Bible is evidence of a book written by men and rewritten by men, and with kings stamping their seal of approval on them for many thousands of years. And think about that. Why would a king want their name on a Bible? Why would a king approve a Bible? What is the Bible actually being used for? Is it control? And I know there are people who are going to say, no, the Bible was written, it was guided by a divine hand. Great. Show me evidence of that so I can believe you. Of course, then people jump straight to nature. Obviously, God is all around us. Nature, everything around you is made by God. No, nature is evidence of nature, not of God. Saying that nature somehow proves God's existence, you're kind of just fooling yourself. God would be evidence of God. God wouldn't have to hide if God existed. Please, please, please give me evidence so I can believe too. It's been so hard to find evidence that shows God actually exists. There's all this circumstantial stuff. There's all this if you believe stuff. There's all this faith stuff. Please, I'm begging you, give me real evidence. I want evidence so I can believe too. But without evidence, it's just a fairy tale. It's a global conspiracy, just like Santa Claus. Like Santa Claus is a global conspiracy against kids to basically trick them into being good, which is kind of just obeying their parents. So Santa is a global conspiracy to get kids to obey that ultimately kids find out is not real. And somehow there was a global conspiracy lying to them to get them to behave. What's that? If you really think about it, God is the same thing. God is Santa 2.0 to get all the adults to behave in a very specific way that's written in a book that's very convoluted, which has been written and rewritten for thousands of years and had a king stamp his name on it. But honestly, you just have to have faith. As long as you have faith in Santa, he's going to bring you gifts and life will be great. So just have faith. Don't look for evidence. If it turns out Santa's not real, we're not going to get presents anymore. That'd be horrifying. I'd rather believe in Santa. It's actually kind of amazing. The comparison of Santa versus God is pretty interesting, and I'll save that for another video at another time. Long story short, there's your answer. I don't believe in God because I have yet to see evidence of God. And if I did get evidence of God, I would want it to be just like the scientific method. You know, with the scientific method, you come up with a theory, you run tests and experiments, you collect data, you actually have evidence, and then you make conclusions and make a new theory. This theory of God is pretty neat, but I don't see any real tests being run. I don't see any actual evidence or data, and I don't see any peer-reviewed results. And if we did, maybe we would come up with a new theory. So there you go. I don't believe in God because there's no evidence. Do you believe in God? And if so, why? And I challenge you to not say faith. Why do you believe in God? Where did it come from? Actually, that's a better question. Why did you believe in God? And where did that belief come from? How old were you when you were presented God? And why did you accept it without evidence? And if you think you have evidence, let's hear it. I'm the Kinky Polyatheist. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, send them to ask@kinkypolyatheist.com. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. You know, technically, just in case, you should probably believe in the invisible unicorn. Praise be the horniness. Just in case. I mean, what if it does exist? If you believe in it, you should be good, right? Just in case. And if it doesn't exist, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Are you?